Welcome to another production of Park TV 16 Sports on Location. We are on the beautiful campus of Benilde-St. Margaret's, bringing you Section 5A quarterfinal boys lacrosse, featuring the very same Red Knights, the number 2 seed in Section 5A, going against the Hopkins Royals, also the Hopkins Park Royals. And at the center circle for the faceoff, that was Owen Girton, and after a whistle, the ball was awarded to the Red Knights, and they are on offense here to begin the beginning of the final sections of the year 2025. Red Knights come in with a 10-3 record overall, taking on this Hopkins Park team. They've had a tough season. They're 2-11, having won just 2 games this year on the road, and they are the 7th seed. And there is an initial shot and a goal from number 17, Griffin Elliott, the junior attacker. Gets the Red Knights on the board first, and that comes just 31 seconds into the match. There he is, number 17, off to a great start, Griffin Elliott. And these Red Knights, their last 2 losses were earlier actually in May. They lost to Stillwater, 11-4, in Eden Prairie, 8-6, and earlier in the year, they lost to Edina 15-4. So they're 10-3, but right now they are up 1-0 against Hopkins Park. And now the face-off loose in the Hopkins Park offensive zone and chasing it down, keeping it inbounds was number 27. That was Miles Chisholm, who initially controlled that face-off. It appeared he was in the driver's seat, and it went out of bounds on him. And now the Red Knights have it for the second time in a 1-goal lead. Just underway here. I'm Robert Christensen. Glad you're with us on this broadcast, enjoying Park TV 16 Sports. Now the ball out of bounds, and a turnover against the Red Knights will give it back to Hopkins Park. That's going to be number 7, Isaac Winkler, the senior, to start it off with the long stick. His outlet pass just eludes the defender, Cole Langevin, or excuse me, that was Dylan Propane. And now here comes Hopkins Park. Shot from way up top, deflected in front. And the Red Knights get the rebound. That was number 22 to scoop it up, Nicholas Capo, the senior captain defender. And now in nets, that's number 25 for the Red Knights, Josh Imes, the junior. Outlet pass to the near side. That's Verrett, the senior defender. He rushes it all the way into the offensive zone. Now on that far side, crosses the 30-yard line. And now he'll get it down into the corner. And again, that is Griffin Elliott, who scored goal number 1, and he loses control of it and turns it over. So a couple of somewhat unforced errors against the Red Knights. And now Hopkins Park will get their second chance on offense, and that's number 8 with it, Dylan Caspers, the junior. Now an outlet pass, and this is going to be hard for Hopkins Park. Benilde-St. Margaret's notorious for their defense and their aggressive forecheck, and there it is on display again. And now Hopkins Park on the far side. Little shovel pass by Milo Dean, number 2, and that is successful to 27. That's again Chisholm, the senior, and they lose it out of bounds behind the net, and a turnover gives it right back to the Red Knights, and we're under 10 minutes to go. And a chance to remind you, you are watching Park TV 16 Sports. We're streaming live on YouTube, and in the corner on the near side, receiving the ball was David Langevin, the sophomore, now back behind the net. Plays catch with number 17, Griffin Elliott. Now back up top on the near side, receiving the ball was Holton Vanderlinde. And now coming off the bench, there is Dylan Propane, the senior. Now to the far side, number 23, Jack Anderson. And around the horn it goes, and back to the near side. Holton Vanderlinde. Vanderlinde, the junior captain, comes right in, decides to give it up. Now with it, 21, Langevin. And David Langevin will come back out. He rushes that right side along that right hash mark. Good defense by Hopkins Park, keeping the Red Knights on the perimeter. Now inside, and a deflection by the defense. Ball loose, it goes right across the goal crease. Still loose in front. Still loose, and it's scooped up nicely by number 49. That's Evan Jacobson, the goaltender, the sophomore. Now the Red Knights steal it right back. And the nice defense by the goaltender, Jacobson, with his stick. Able to deflect that shot at point-blank range. And a great defensive play. Here it is on the replay. Doorstep right off his, I guess it didn't go off his stick. It went off his noggin, but that's just as good. That means that the goaltender, Jacobson, was playing great positional goaltending, and he deserves all the credit for that save. And he keeps the Hopkins Park Royals within 1 as we are at the 8.5-minute mark of quarter number 1. And the Red Knights now waiting for some substitutions. And that is number 3, Vanderlinde, and he'll give it up to Popane, who gives it up to Jack Anderson, number 23, and he'll rush that right side quickly. Now they'll change positions with number 17, Griffin Elliott. Now the pass to Popane, and Hopkins Park does a nice job interfering and coming back away with it and a turnover. Now a big outlet pass in the middle on the bounce. Hits Hopkins Park's number 16. That's Cooper Reese, the senior, and he will hold on to it and circle back. Nice outlet pass on the bounce into Cooper Reese's basket. Played perfectly. And now with it is Reese. Reese tries this right side. His team down 1-0 as we approach the 7.5-minute mark of quarter number 1. Behind the net, that's number 2, Milo Dean, the sophomore. Dean getting pressured by number 11. That is Brady Marcus for the Red Knights. Now coming closer to the near side, Evan Hagen, the captain, tried to get a shot off, deflected in front. Ball rebounds back behind the net and out of bounds. And the Royals will keep it. Outlet pass from behind the net. And this is Park Hopkins' longest possession, and they are going to take their time with it. They're down 1. The last thing Hopkins Park wants to get into is a race here on goals. If they can slow the pace down and keep the goals down to a minimum, that will give them a chance to pull off a big upset here in the Section 5A quarterfinals. Now behind the net, number 1, Hagen, looking for some room and just being defended well by 0 for St. Louis, or excuse me, Benilde-St. Margaret's. That's Cole Langevin, the senior. And Hopkins Park will bring it back out up top, and they are showing really good patience here on offense. All right, top of the key once again, Cooper Reese. Just like a one-on-one point guard, he goes down, kept control of the ball. That was amazing enough. And it is a little bit slippery out there. Temperature at game time was 63 degrees, cloudy. Been on and off rain since last night, and that field may be a little bit slick, which contributed to number 16, Reese, going down. Meanwhile, Hopkins Park still retains possession. Now a shot from the far side is intercepted by number 24, the stellar defenseman Judah Johnson-Nixon, the senior defender. And now on the near side, here comes the Red Knights with number 22, launches it into the offensive zone. That being Capo, successful to number 21, David Langevin. And now behind the net, number 16, that's Leo Gagnon. Gagnon, who's checked in, occupy the point guard position behind the net, and he is being chased closely by number 3, Max Teresa, showing great hustle there. And now here comes number 17, once again, Elliott, top of the key. That was to number 18, Max Riley, who checked in. Now rushing, giving it up, coming around underneath, and going low with the goal is number 21, David Langevin. So that was an initial rush by Holton Vanderlinde. He drew the defense to him. That opened up number 21, David Langevin, right there. He comes right in, and the defense there got a little bit there late, and he went between the legs of goaltender Jacobson and records the second goal of the night for the Red Knights. That comes with 5:18 remaining in quarter number 1. Our score 2-0. And back to the center circle for the faceoff. Doing the honors for the Red Knights, as per usual, Owen Gurton, the senior, to go against
scoring for the Red Knights, number 21, David
Miles
Lundgren.
Chisholm, and Gurton comes away with it and a 2-goal lead, and with the ball as we approach the 5-minute mark. Now behind the net, Leo Gagnon. Gagnon being chased by the long stick for the Royals. That's number 3, jabbing at it, Max Teresas. And Gagnon will hold on to it, and now he'll give it up to that far wing, right around the 30-yard line. That's number 30. 34, I should say, Cameron Kirshner. Now, the give and go on the near side, and that's played well defensively by Chisholm for the Royals. Now coming right in, trying to put a move on, gives it up. The shot deflected by the goaltender Jacobson. Rebound in front, he makes another save. Jacobson keeping Park Royals in this one with 2 incredible saves, and now a nice outlet pass eluding the defender. as the Hopkins Park Royals will work the ball into the offensive zone, and nicely rushing the ball into the offensive zone was number 8, Dylan Caspers, the junior, and Caspers now brings it all the way deep into the offensive zone, and now we've got a timeout called, I believe, by Hopkins Park. I could hear it is confirmed by the PA announcer, so timeout Royals. That'll come with 4:03 remaining, and that'll give us a chance perhaps to talk about the bracket in Section 5A, and there it is. Wayzata there with the number 1 seed, Benilde-St. Margaret's the number 2 seed at the bottom of the bracket. Wayzata will take on the Blake School, who won a preliminary game with Osseo Park Center. So Blake School is the number 8 seed, Osseo Park Center the number 9 seed. They played on Tuesday, and the winner was the Blake School. So they are also playing tonight. Breck versus Maple Grove, Rogers versus Robbinsdale Armstrong, and then of course this match right here, Benilde-St. Margaret's versus Hopkins St. Louis Park. And this is also the beginning of a doubleheader broadcast on ParkTV 16 Sports at 7:30. Following this match, the girls lacrosse team has also made the tournament. They come in with an 8-5 record starting at 7:30, and they will be taking on the Blake School girls lacrosse team. So a little advertisement to stay with us at the conclusion of this one, as we'll be getting ready to bring you Benilde-St. Margaret's versus Blake Section 5A quarterfinals. But right now, our attention is focused right here. Park Hopkins just finished their timeout. Play back underway. The Royals have it, and we're under 4 minutes to go in quarter number 1. And with the ball is number 16 for Hopkins Park, Cooper Reese. Now the ball, again, another unforced error, turnover, gives it back to Benilde-St. Margaret's, and that's Cole Langevin, and he'll rush it out unaccosted, and now launches one to a wide open number 2, Vincent Verrett, the senior. And the Red Knights with a 2-goal lead have it again, and that is Griffin Elliott at that point guard position behind the net. I like to think there's 2 point guard positions, one behind the net and one on top of the key, as I like to say. And now there's substitutions. Jack Anderson gives it up to number 3, Holton Vanderlinde. Now Vanderlinde picks up speed on that right flank, gives it up, and the Red Knights are intentional here. With it is Griffin Elliott as he plays catch. Now Jack Anderson will try the right side. And I have to say, Hopkins Park, even though they have a 2-11 record, they've been playing very solid defense against this very powerful Red Knights team. They're only down 2-0. And now we've got a whistle against number 1, Dylan Popane, as he talks to the referee about it. He's claiming perhaps that his jersey was being grabbed by Hopkins Park, but the referee respectfully disagrees with Mr. Popane. And look at that nice move by number 7 for Isaac Winkler. I don't know if we can get a chance on replay, if we ever get a chance in a timely manner, but he put a move on the defender and was able to get by him. Excellent job by number 7, Isaac Winkler, the senior captain on defense. And now the Malachi crunch right at midfield, ball loose. Now that is 24, Judah Johnson-Nixon, and he comes away with it using his might on defense. And that stops the offensive threat for the Royals. As I check out the clock, as we are near 2 minutes, and into the offensive zone, that outlet pass frees the ball up. This time it's Raphael Johnson-Nixon with it. And the Red Knights have it with exactly 2 minutes to go, and good tenacious defense again, relentless by the Royals. Really doing a nice job slowing down this potent Red Knight offense. Now on the near side, that's Vanderlinde. Puts the move on, comes right in, gives it up to 21, David Langevin. Now to the far side, Popane. It's only going to be a matter of time before he takes a shot here. Now Jack Anderson looking for some room. Unable to find it. Great defense by number 27. That was Miles Chisholm once again. Doing it at the center circle on offense, and again right there on defense. Now putting the move on, David Langevin has to give it up. 1:20 remaining in the quarter. Now the shot, Vanderlinde. Flag goes up. It looks like it came out of his net, whether it was poke checked away or not. It's going to come up on the Royals, and now the shot misses. It may have been partially deflected by Evan Jacobson, and now we have a whistle, and the clock is stopped at 1:08. There's the shot right there, and it went wide right. Nevertheless, Jacobson, the goaltender, was in excellent position in case it was on goal. And he has played brilliantly here to keep the Royals within 2. And now the Red Knights have it on that far corner, starting out with it, Griffin Elliott. Now to the near side, top of the key is Popane to Jack Anderson. Far side, Griffin Elliott. Now behind the net, David Langevin. Langevin short circuits it. Popane can't hold on to it. The ball's loose. The Royals almost had it, but now coming away with it is Jack Anderson as he saves this offensive threat. 45 seconds remaining. Now behind the net, David Langevin, near side, Vanderlinde. Now Popane takes a shot in a goal. I had a feeling he was going to get his shot here soon, and he got it, and he delivered, and that was one heck of a shot by number 1, Dylan Popane. Watch this, just the pace, like an arrow through the air. Whang. Whew. I don't think Jacobson even saw it, especially on a cloudy day like this. So that will be goal number 3. Dylan Popane gets the credit. 36.9 seconds remaining in quarter number 1. Back to the face-off, and that's number 28 this time. Finn Zolikoffer does a nice job winning that possession. And now the Royals have it with 26 seconds and counting here in the first quarter. And at the far sideline, a turnover is forced out of bounds. And coming away with it off the sideline is number 22 for the Red Knights, Nicholas Capo. And with 18 seconds remaining, these Red Knights are going to want to try to score here, and they're going to have to move quickly. And they are. Vanderlinde inside. Pass misses the mark intended for number 11, Brady Marcus. And now they've got to play catch up with it. And Park now comes away with it with 4 seconds remaining. Holding it high with his right arm, Isaac Winkler. Another nice defensive play by Winkler as the signal sounds. Ending period number 1. So after 1 complete, our score 3-0 Red Knights. You're watching ParkTV 16 Sports. Come on back for quarter number 2.
First, they said cigarettes were safe. We know how that turned out. Now, they say they didn't market e-cigarettes to teens? Fact, more than 1 in 4 high school students are vaping, and 80% say their first e-cigarette was flavored. Vaping is harmful to developing brains. The reason we think vaping is safe? Marketing. Same lies, different day. Tell Big Vape to quit lying.
TV 16 sports broadcast of boys Section 5A quarterfinal lacrosse. Red Knights versus the Royals. Red Knights leading 3-0. Red Knights meeting Benilde-St. Margaret's, and of course the Royals are the Hopkins Park Royals. So they're down 3-0 in this quarterfinal. They're the number 7 seed. And the Red Knights, the number 2 seed, and Park has it to begin the second half. They're, of course, the Royals in royal blue, and they lose possession, and now the Red Knights have it. They'll be going left to right this time. On a somewhat cool 63-degree, rainy, cloudy, somewhat light winds, 8 miles out of the northeast, shouldn't really impact anything. The biggest thing that I saw about the weather conditions in the first quarter was a slippage by a Hopkins Park player. Now coming right in, Vanderlinde gets the scoring off with a big right shot, beats Jacobson down in that left corner. And here is Vanderlinde, just lets it fly and beats with pure speed there. Goal number 4. That comes in the first 31 seconds. I think that's what happened in quarter number 1. Red Knights score right away, and now they are 4-0 leaders in this one, and now back to the center circle. And is that going to be Gerton again? It appears to be number 5 going against Miles Chisholm, or that could be Zolikoffer, the junior. If it's Zolikoffer, he won it to begin the second quarter, and there is Childs with it. Nice job on the face-off circle. He has a skill there. And now the turnover, though, right away. So if you're going to win possession, you got to keep it, and that is going to be a problem, as it has been most of the first quarter. But the Royals do have it on offense, looking for their first goal of the afternoon. And that is number 16, Reese, with it as he awaits the substitutions. And now coming off the bench was number 6 for Park Hopkins, Carter Kuhn, a freshman on the near side. As we watch Cooper Reese, the senior captain, playing that point guard position on the near side. And he is being marked closely on defense by Raphael Johnson-Nixon. Now behind the net, coming in front, the pass. There's a flag going up, ball loose. And the Royals still have it, so this is going to be a penalty on the Red Knights as soon as they touch it, much like hockey. And at the top of the key for the Royals, that's Milo Dean. Now Milo Dean going hard against number 2. That's Vincent Verrett on defense. 2 versus 2 in the second quarter. Lots of 2s going on. And with it is Reese. Reese now. He'll try to put on a move, much like a point guard trying to drive the lane. Gets pushed to the wing by Raphael Johnson-Nixon. Good defense by the Red Knights, and we are at the 10-minute mark of quarter number 2. Now rushing from behind the net, number 1, Evan Hagen gives it up, and the shot, tried to bounce it at goaltender for the Red Knights, Josh Imes, and it goes beyond the net, but the rebound ends up in the basket of number 22 for the Royals. That's Joe Luger, the sophomore. Luger now will wind around, and that pass will be out of bounds. And let's see, are the Royals going to retain possession? It appears they are. As we await substitutions, the clock is stopped with 9:31 remaining. And substitutions on both sides as players coming off the sideline and leaving. And in that corner, that is number 1 with it for the Royals, Evan Hagen, in the offensive zone. So Park Hopkins looking for their first goal. Now Chisholm from behind the net to the near side to Hagen again. Now top of the key, Reese. 33, that's Bennett Johnson, the sophomore. He appears to be a very tall lad out there. If they can get him posted in front of the net as that ball ends up in the basket of goaltender Josh Imes. That might have been his first real save tonight. And now the Red Knights will try to rush it out with number 22, Nicholas Capo, the senior captain. He'll give it back to Imes. Imes now will have a leadoff pass on the bounce to Johnson-Nixon. Ball loose. That's Judah Johnson-Nixon, still loose. Getting there first for the Royals, 36, Ryland Budolfsson. And number 16, Reese had it, and now a whistle, and the Red Knights will keep the ball in the offensive end, and that's number 16 with it, Leo Gagnon. Gagnon now will go to the center of the offensive zone, turn back around, hand it off to Holton Vanderlinde, and Vanderlinde will wait for everyone to get set. Marcus leaves the field, a substitute comes on, and now Vanderlinde gets by the defender, now behind the net to Gagnon. And on the far side, that is number 21, David Langevin. Now to Jack Anderson. In the seam to Vanderlinde, and his pass behind the net misses the mark intended for Gagnon and out of bounds as a whistle sounded, stopping the clock at 8:10 remaining in quarter number 2. I'll remind you, you're watching ParkTV 16 Sports. We're streaming live on YouTube. I'm Robert Christensen. Glad you're with us. Enjoying the broadcast of this Section 5A quarterfinal as we await the signal from the referee. Another substitution comes off the bench for the Royals as we await his arrival. There he comes in on that left part of the screen. And now the Red Knights move quickly here. Clock back underway. 8 minutes to go in quarter number 2. Behind the net, David Langevin. And Vanderlinde's shot, he wound up big time, and it goes wide right. And the Red Knights will keep possession. David Langevin. Far wing, Vanderlinde. Popane, who has the last goal. Vanderlinde takes another shot, and that goes wide left. Not sure if Jacobson got a piece of it. He may have. Red Knights retain possession. Actually, the last goal was Vanderlinde. The one before that was Dylan Popane. Now at the top of the key, wide open, Jack Anderson. And a save by Jacobson, and this time he did get a piece of it, it appeared, or it hit the post. It ricocheted way out. May have hit the post. We'll see. Just based on that rebound. Rebound went about 30 yards. Now, Anderson takes a shot. He goes high on Jacobson, and he finds that open corner on the upper left corner and records goal number 5 for the Red Knights. Here is Jack Anderson. Goes to the right, spin move to the left, gets up, lets it fly, and just goes high over Jacobson's head. Great precision on that shot by Jack Anderson, and that gives the Red Knights a 5-0 lead with 7:25 remaining in the second quarter. And here comes the Royals. Number 27, Miles Chisholm. He'll go against number 5, Owen Gerton. And one bright spot for the Royals has been Chisholm's play at the faceoff. I think he has the advantage so far against Gerton. And we are awaiting the faceoff, and here we are. As though he go really low there, and there's Chisholm with it. He is really excellent at those faceoffs for the Royals. So giving them a chance with possessions. And now a pass to no one except a Red Knight. So an unforced error there, and now the Red Knights are going to take advantage, aren't they? Quickly into the offensive zone, the shot and a goal as he gets pushed from behind at the end. Number 2, Vincent Verrett took that the distance, didn't he? Took a big shot at the end. I didn't see a flag go up, but here it is, wide open in the middle. Coming right in, lets it go, and a late shot there. I can't believe that did not get called, or maybe it did. I didn't see a flag go up. Had that been the NFL and the hit on a quarterback, that would have been a late hit for sure. And that certainly is what it looked like there, but they're going to let that one go. And that gives the Red Knights a 6-goal lead with 7:03 remaining. Not quite, a little early to talk about the mercy rule, but if you were wondering at home or wherever you are enjoying our broadcast, it's 12-0. And the Red Knights are halfway there, and now there's another one face-off for the Park Hopkins Royals by number 27, Miles Chisholm. Just his ability to do that could get him a scholarship somewhere, I believe. He really is one of the best ones I've seen in quite a while, broadcasting lacrosse. And now Reese loses his stick and the ball as it's taken away by a poke check by number 16, Leo Gagnon. No, excuse me, that was number 10, Tyler Kirshner, the sophomore, playing excellent on defense for the Red Knights, now giving them another chance at their 7th goal here. We're just under 6.5 minutes to go in quarter number 2. Now with it, number 3, Holton Vanderlinde, the junior captain. Not often you see a captain that's a junior. Usually they're most always seniors. So that speaks well of Vanderlinde and how his team feels about him and his leadership qualities for sure. And now Popane had to reach back for that pass by Anderson, but he's able to recover with that speed. And Dylan Popane now with it. He already has a goal. As we're now under 6 minutes to go in quarter number 2. Popane coming around, takes a shot from a tough angle, deflected in front by Jacobson, and he gets the rebound. Nice job by Evan Jacobson, the sophomore goaltender for Hopkins Park. And I can tell you the differential in the scoring would be much higher if it wasn't for Jacobson. And now the Royals try to break it out on the near side, and with it is number 8, rushing the near sideline, Dylan Kaspers. And now the pass ahead to number 36 with the long stick. That's Ryan Budolfsson. And Budolfsson does a nice job, and now in the corner, they lose it right away as Evan Hagen loses it to number 0, Cole Langevin, and Langevin now has it. He rushes it towards center field, crosses the center line, now into the offensive zone. Red Knights have it as we are at the 5-minute mark now in first half, second quarter. Jack Anderson, 23 with it, rushes the right side, spin move. Gets up, now he's double, triple teamed. Anderson still holding it despite being harassed from behind, and now hands it off to number 16, Leo Gagnon. Now behind the net to 21, David Langevin. Now on the far side, number 12, Brady Paulson, who's checked in. Top of the key, Vanderlinde takes a shot from behind, gives it up to Gagnon, comes right in, and he scores it. He goes far side, upper left corner, beats Jacobson for goal number 7. And that comes with 4:34 to go. Here's the replay as Holton Vanderlinde shakes off the back check there. And then A sharp shooting Leo Gagnon, the sophomore attacker, gets goal number 7, and the Red Knights are off to the races here. Back to the center circle. And again, it's going to be Girton versus Miles Chisholm. See if he can win another face-off here. He's won the last 2 at least. Now it's loose, and he's got it again. Chisholm, and then he lost it. Just as he was about to pull away. And Girton gets it right back, and now we have a whistle and a timeout. This time taken by the Red Knights coach Giuseppe Palermo with a 7-goal lead. With 4:25 to go before halftime, we'll take a pause here and we can review while we look at the schedule that the Red Knights have played so far. So this season began way back on April 12th. Boy, that seems like a long time ago. We're almost at the end of May. These seasons seem to go by faster every year. And they got off to a great start. They won their first 5 matches until May. And then May, they ran into some more difficulty. And their first match in May came against Edina, and they lost by 11 on May 3rd. Then they rebounded and won 3 in a row, beating Bloomington Jefferson just 4-3. Then Woodbury 8-6. New Prague 9-7. So some tight games there they've won. Then they lost to Stillwater 11-4. I think we were there for that one. And then Eden Prairie got the best of them. So 2 losses in a row not that long ago. That was on May 15th and 17th. The Red Knights now have concluded their conversation during the timeout, just waiting for the Hopkins Park Royals. And then they beat Orono 13-11. That's a big rival against Benilde-St. Margaret's in a variety of sports. And then Prior Lake, also a very strong lacrosse team over the years, 9-6. And so they came into this one with a 2-game winning streak, 10-3 on the year. Hopkins Park 2-11 on the year. Okay, timeout by the Red Knights is over. They have the ball. They're in white with red numbers, and with it is number 34, Cameron Kirshner. Kirshner now will come back to the top of the key to number 18, Max Riley. Now on the far side, the wing, that's Carter Tanius, the sophomore. So some substitutions during that timeout by Coach Palermo. Wanted to make sure everybody understood the strategy and the game plan when you're making substitutions. And now coming right in and scoring it and going down was number 15, Tanius. But no goal, actually, a save. It was hard to tell there at first. Well, the ball is in the net, I believe, as they go get it. So it did get the net, but they must have waved it off, of course. Here's the replay. Let's see what happened. And I thought the ball was already in the net, but they do wave it off. So a break there for the Royals, but now they turn it right back over, and that's Kirshner in front of the net. And he hesitated, I thought, a little bit there. Was David Langevin. If he had moved a little more quickly, he may have had a better opportunity, allowed the defense to close in just at the last minute as we looked at that replay. And now the Royals have it to the goaltender, 49, Evan Jacobson, the sophomore. And attempted pass to Chisholm now ends up into the basket of Brady Marcus, the junior, with the long stick. And now the Red Knights have it once again as we approach the 3-minute mark before halftime. 7-0 lead Red Knights. Now they'll wind it around to the near side to number 16, Gagnon. Now Gagnon trots behind the net. And Cole Langevin, and coming off the bench to Vander Linde. And now rushing off the field will be Max Riley. And is Jack Anderson going to come on? No, they just want to get everything. Yep, Jack Anderson is going to come on. So lots of time winding down as they allow those substitutions. And there, Jack Anderson, he comes off the sideline. He's on the field for maybe 6 seconds, takes a pass, and delivers another goal for the Red Knights. Goal number 8 comes with 2:38 remaining, and here he was. He wasn't on there very long. Not a bad gig if you can get it for Jack Anderson. Hang out, much like a designated hitter in baseball, isn't it? On the sideline, it's like, get in there, take the ball, take a shot, hit a home run, and we're good. And that's exactly what happened. Red Knights now 8-0 lead. Second quarter action on ParkTV 16 Sports, streaming live on YouTube. Now back to the center circle, and there's a new person in there to do the
Scoring for the Red Knights, his
face-off
second goal of the game,
for
number 23,
the
Jack
Royals was
Anderson.
Finn Zollikoffer. He didn't win that one this time, so no Miles Chisholm, and the Red Knights have it with an 8-goal lead with 2:23 and counting remaining. With it on the far side, number 21, David Langevin. Langevin now with it again as they wait for the substitutions, and now Vanderlinde's come off the bench to be on offense as he does. He was about to take a shot there, decided the better of it, gave it up to Gagnon. Gagnon's pass a little off the mark, intended for number 12, Brady Paulson. And now with it is number 16, Leo Gagnon. Under 2 to play in the half. Gagnon rushes, takes a shot, and the save by Jacobson sends the rebound right back out, much like a pinball sheen. But this time Vanderlinde picks it up. Pass to the far side to Popane, picks a move on, shot deflected again by Jacobson. 2 nice saves by the Royals, Jacobson. But Gagnon comes back with the rebound. As the pressure is relentless right now by the Red Knights, under a minute and a half to go. And with it, the person that started the scoring at the beginning of this contest, Griffin Elliott, looking for his second goal of the evening. Rushes from behind, now gives it up on that far side. Cutting back is Vanderlinde. Good defense by the Royals. Now Gagnon. Gagnon will rush the far side. Spin move towards the middle. Gives it up to 17. Griffin Elliott now behind the net. Point guard position. Look at that behind. Did Popane really put his stick behind his legs? I didn't think so. Maybe. That's what it appeared to me. A little razzle-dazzle. Now Popane with it. He has a go. No, that wasn't Popane. That was David Langevin. Now Popane. 46 seconds remaining before half. Popane will try behind. Puts a little head fake on. Turns back around. It's much like keep away, isn't it? You have that playground you used to play at noon, and there is not a keep away. That is a shot away by Vanderlinde, number 3, and he records his second goal of the evening, and that will put the Red Knights up 9-0. And that goal comes with just 31.8 seconds remaining as Vanderlinde went right, crossed over left, and it appeared Jacobson did not even have that in his vision, as his reaction appeared to come about right after the ball got behind him. And now Chisholm will come back out for the Royals, and they are now down 9-0. Just as we are about to reach halftime. Now back to the center circle, and again, that's going to be Girton versus Chisholm. This is sort of the game within the game. Chisholm comes out with it, now ball loose.
Scoring
and with it is Brady Marcus.
That's his second goal of
And
the
a
game.
whistle from away from the play, way away from the play, is going to turn it back over to the Royals. So they'll have a chance to try to get on the board here just before halftime, and that would definitely be a confidence booster for them. Goes without saying, and now we got a whistle, and
Call by the Royals.
the Royals are going to take a timeout. That's understandable with 21.4 seconds remaining. I'm sure Coach Evan Hylock is thinking the same thing. And if we can just get some organization here and maybe call a specialized play that they think can work. Meanwhile, look on the camera there. And I don't know if the referees are examining the stick as they talk to number 0, Cole Langevin, or was Langevin looking for some guidance on some rule violations with how he should be managing his stick. That's what it appeared to me. Sometimes that can happen in sports if a referee is making phone calls, and oftentimes there's communication between the referees and the players. Obviously there are, and sometimes it's not. It's perfectly acceptable to go up to a referee and say, hey, what am I doing wrong, or what are you seeing, why are you calling that, or why aren't you calling something? And you know, more often than not, referees will tell you. You know, you work with them, get some communication going, and that appeared to be what was happening there for Cole Langevin. So good leadership by Cole Langevin, speaking to the referees, hopefully respectfully, I'm sure he was, and getting some information, and play will now go on. Okay, the Royals, with 21 seconds remaining, following the timeout, looking for a goal. With it, number 1, the shot and a goal! Evan Hagen, the senior, scores it with 15.6 seconds remaining, and that's exactly what I thought was going to happen, right? Evan Hylock, the coach, wanted to get a goal, and he went to his star player, Evan Hagen, who gets on the board for the Royals, and that has got to feel good for Coach Hylock and his Royals. Nobody wants to get shut out, and we're only still in the first half here, but nevertheless, to get a goal right before halftime is key to morale for sure. But now the Red Knights with 15 seconds, if they can get possession, they're going to want to try to score here and respond, and they have it here with 13.2. And now they're going to stop, much like a false start in a track race, the 100 meters. And now another whistle and another timeout. This time by the Red Knights for much the same reason. Coach Giuseppe Palermo, I believe, called that timeout. A little bit of confusion as to what's happening here as that referee is at the 50-yard line extended. You can see him right in front of the scorer's tent talking to, I bet that it's got to be Coach Evan Hylock. Yeah, and the timeout was by the Red Knights. So they're going to try to organize their own play, and there's Hylock there. It doesn't look like he's getting the answers he was hoping for, just based on body language, as he continues to look at the referees. And it looks like one referee came over to discuss it with the other two. That's out of your camera. Now they're talking about it long distance. Here they come back to discuss it with him. And there you see a Red Knight coach seems to be part of the conversation in the white sweater, perhaps, maybe not. And now they're coming over. And they are in each other's face. They're not like they're angry, but, you know, when you get that close, you know, you're being direct in your language, I think. That is very close talking, I would say. So I don't think Mr. Hylock is very happy about what's happening here. And that is very clear now from the body language. His team down by 8 has got to be frustrating and agitating for sure. All right. Following the Benilde-St. Margaret's Red Knight, 13.2 seconds. Their timeout, I should say. And starting out with it will be number 18, Max Riley. 6 seconds remaining, far side. They're going to have to move quickly. Vanderlinde with 3 seconds. Spin move, he goes down, loses the ball, and the whistle sounds, ending the first half. So after one half complete, our score, Red Knights 9, Royals 1. You're watching ParkTV 16 Sports, streaming live on YouTube. Come on back for the second half.
Sometimes there's no do-over. Some things you can't rewind. That's when an extra safety step could mean the difference between a close call and a call to 911. Simple steps save lives. Learn more at poolsafely.gov.
Welcome back to ParkTV 16 Sports broadcast of Boys Section 5A Varsity Lacrosse featuring the Red Knights of Benilde-St. Margaret's and the Hopkins Park Royals. Coming in as the number 7 seed against the Red Knights, the number 2 seed. And our score after one half complete, Red Knights 9, Royals 1. About to begin the second half on sort of a rainy, sprinkly, 60-degree light wind. Kind of a chilly afternoon here in late May, but the Red Knights are about to continue their scoring prowess in the second half. They lead by 8, 9-1, and they'll be going right to left. And Girton against Chisholm once again, and this time Girton and the Red Knights win a face-off to start half number 2, and with it in the defensive zone is Judah Johnson-Nixon. And Judah Johnson-Nixon rushes it all the way into the offensive zone. Now over on the right side, gives it up to number 16, Leo Gagnon. Gagnon now behind the net to number 19, who is checked in. That is Colin Goodwater, the freshman seeing action for the first time in this second half. Gives it up to Dylan Popane, who has a goal, who rolls it over to Holton Vanderlinde, or excuse me, yes, that is Vanderlinde. So the Red Knights going right to left. A little bit of wind out there, 8 miles out of the northeast, but not with any significant impact. The most weather challenge I can see is the field may be a little bit slippery from all the rain we've had the last day or so here in the Twin Cities metro area. I'm Robert Christensen. Glad you're with us here in this third quarter as we watch Vanderlinde take a shot and a goal. as he beat the defender who was harassing him from behind, and he takes a monster shot as he raised his racket high to the right and beats goaltender Evan Jacobson with 10:59 to go. There he lets it fly, and look at the pace on these shots. Very difficult to pick up, especially with the low light today. I would imagine if I were the goaltender Jacobson. And after the Royals scored late in quarter number 2, to avoid the shutout, the Red Knights answer right back in the first 61 seconds. And they've been very good at scoring within the first minute or so. And that is a hat trick for Vanderlinde, the PA announcer announced. And that is Chisholm winning another faceoff for the Royals as he gives it up to the near side. That's number 13, Braden Fiore. Now Fiore, nice cross pass on a diagonal pass to Cooper Reese. Reese now will slow it down, and substitutions on offense come in, and there's Evan Hagen, who got the first goal, and he takes a shot, and that deflects high and back out of play. Royals will retain possession. With a 9-goal lead, Royals take a shot. Actually, they're down 9-1, and that shot appeared to be Reese. No, it was by number 6 instead of 16, Carter Kuhn, the freshman. And that deflects out of bounds, and the Red Knights have it again with 10:17 to go in quarter number 3. And rushing into the offensive zone, that's Vincent Verrett, the defender and senior. Behind the net to 21, David Langevin. Now Leo Gagnon. Back to Langevin. One thing that won't have an impact when it's sunny around here at this time of day, that sun starts to set at an angle that can interfere, I believe, with the vision. None of that going to happen tonight. All right, now Popane, right side. Behind the net, Gagnon. Great ball rotation, quickly moving here, the Red Knights. Excellent lacrosse on display again by the Big Red Machine. Now Popane wide open. You give Dylan Popane that sort of time, and with the amount of pace he can get on his shot, Jacobson virtually had no chance, and Popane gives the Red Knights their 11th goal. Watch this, wide open, just allowed him just to let it go as hard as he could, and he bounced it right past Jacobson. And the Red Knights now lead again by 10. There is a mercy rule in lacrosse. I believe it's when there's a 12-goal differential, so, which means they will go to running time until
For the Red Knights,
the Royals can cut that deficit to less than 12. And now the Red Knights on the fly to Geerton, lets it go. And on a bounce shot, that goes wide left, out of bounds. Back to retrieve it, David Langevin at the point guard from behind the net. Being poke checked by number 7 for the Royals. That's Isaac Winkler, who has played well for the Royals on defense. He's made a couple of nifty moves. Now Langevin from deep in the corner, coming out to the top of the key. Dylan Popane looking for a hat trick of his own tonight with another goal. Now coming and getting it poked away nicely was number 19, Colin Goodwaters, checked in, and the shot from Popane from a tough angle with traffic in front goes wide right, out of bounds. And Vanderlinde, well, here's that shot right here. Tough angle, but he did have an opening, didn't he? Tried to thread the needle, just went wide right. Now Vanderlinde from behind the net. Crossover, creates room, space, now out the flank. Goodwater loses it, and he picks it up and gets poke checked away by Winkler again. Winkler comes away with it, playing great defense once again. Now Chisholm bats at it, and a whistle sound, and they're going to give it to the Red Knights. Clock stopped with 8:29 remaining. And David Langevin on that near sideline, right below our booth and cameras, gives it to Popane at the top of the key, number from the 40-yard line. He'll drive the left side of the lane. Now on the near side, Vanderlinde. He'll retreat ever so slightly, floating out there, kind of like a butterfly, back and forth, flitting around. Agility is a big component to success in lacrosse, the ability to move like a water bug out there at any direction at the stop and at a dime. Now Goodwater Behind the net to Gagnon. Under 8 minutes to play in quarter number 3. Spin move, good defense by the Royals. That's McGarvey, the junior. Now top of the key, Vanderlinde. So nice possession here by the Red Knights, being very patient. Now Vanderlinde directing traffic, asks for Gagnon, and Gagnon complies, and he'll come out looking for a screen, just like basketball. Now Vanderlinde, near side, Vanderlinde cuts left. No, that was Gagnon instead of Vanderlinde, my fault. And he goes wide right, out of bounds. Clock stops the clock at 7:19. And David Langevin behind the net. And clock still stopped, now we're underway. And David Langevin coming in. Now Vanderlinde gets pushed back. Inside shot and a goal. My, what a nice pass and a goal. That was to Colin Goodwater, the freshman. And he was able to receive that, go low, and beat goaltender Evan Jacobson of the Royals. Watch this nifty play. Vanderlinde spin moves out, has his head up, and just appearing was Goodwater, and he went low. And that freshman, I can see why he is playing varsity lacrosse. Showed great skill. And now I'm looking at the Royals goaltender. It appeared to me that he is hurt, and he is shaking that left leg there. But it appears he's going to be okay as we go to the center circle with 7:05 to go. Our score 12-1 in quarter number 3. On ParkTV 16 Sports, streaming live on YouTube, and to the center circle face-off. Appears it's going to be Girton again, and it is, and this time he wins, but it wasn't against Chisholm. Now David Langevin with a quick shot and a goal, and just like that, it's 13-1, and the mercy rule is underway. The clock is now still winding at 6:53. That goal will come with 6:58 remaining. Nice pass by Girton from the face-off to number 19, Goodwater. And I guess that was to Langevin. My fault that got the goal. David Langevin, the sophomore, went low for that goal. So nice job there, and a great pass from Goodwater. So Girton to Goodwater to Langevin for goal number 13. And now the clock is stopped again at 6:53. Not sure why when we have a mercy rule, but we'll see if that continues. Langevin wins another one. Breaks into the open, and that's Gagnon for Goodwater. And now Goodwater retrieves it. And now to Raphael Judah, or Raphael Johnson-Nixon. And he'll trot off the field as he hands it off to number 18, Max Riley, who's checked in. Now David Langevin to the near side to Goodwater. And to number 12, Brady Paulson, who's checked in. To the far side to number 15, Carter Tanius. So Coach Guillermo, or Giuseppe Palermo, going to his bench here midway through the third quarter. Now around to the near side, Goodwater. To number 12, Paulson. Paulson turns to number 19, Goodwater. Goodwater at the top of the key. Way stretched out. Rushes right. Pass. Midway point to Gagnon. He'll spin back around. Gives it up to number 15, Tanius. Tanius tries the right hash mark side. Pass now behind the net to number 12, Brady Paulson, till David Langevin. As we're under 5.5 to go in quarter number 3. And the shot and a goal on the bounce. Well executed by the Red Knights. And that bounce happened right in front. And that's number 16, Leo Gagnon. Lets that fly, and he catches the turf perfectly and beats Jacobson for their 14th goal and a 13-goal lead. And we are in running time as the clock continues to wind down. Now under 5 minutes to go in quarter number 3. And the face-off. And this time we have someone new. It appears that's number 10, Tyler Kirshner. And it is to go against Childs. And Kirshner beats Chisholm, I should say. And there is on the rebound from the face-off, Raphael Johnson-Nixon. He still has it, puts a nifty showing great agility was Raphael Johnson-Nixon, and he rushes it deep in, and now Goodwater able to catch that ball. It appeared could have handcuffed him. It was close in, and he was able to maneuver that basket to take that in. You can imagine having an elongated stick and that ball comes right at you at your midsection. That can be difficult to corral in the basket, and Goodwater did a nice job with that. Now Propane looking for another goal, and he gets it. 15-1 now our score as the clock continues to wind down. Langevin, if he didn't have a hat trick before, he has it now. Excuse me, Propane. If he didn't have a hat trick, he's got it on this one for sure. And there he goes low. And that scoots quickly by Evan Jacobson, and the clock continues to wind down. And our score now 15-1 in this quarterfinal. So no doubt about it, the Red Knights are going to move on, and they are going to play the winner of the number 3 seed Rogers, who's taking on Robbinsdale Armstrong. That match was to start at 6 o'clock this evening. And the semifinal will be Monday night right back here. Time to be determined. Unless the Park Hopkins Royals can come back with a miraculous comeback, which would be unprecedented with this type of differential in goals in the second half. But that was a nice win on the faceoff by Chisholm for the Hopkins Park Royals. So the one bright spot has been his play on faceoffs, and they have it. At the top of the key, spin move after spin move, and the shot taken by Evan Hagen, who has the only goal for the Hopkins Park Royals, and a nice save by Josh Imes. He hasn't seen many shots on net today, so good for him to stay alert. It's easy to go asleep when you are not getting any action as a goaltender. And a nice job by Imes, and now we got flags coming up from both sides of the field as they both look along the sideline, and they will meet in the middle to confer as the clock continues to wind down. There they are, the officials. Not sure what they saw. Maybe they saw the same thing that appeared to be the case, and they wanted to confirm it. And let's see, as the flags on the ground are going to be retrieved right there, and it appears the Red Knights are going to come away with the offensive possession of the ball. And starting with it, it appears it's going to be number 17 over by the 40-yard line, Griffin Elliott, and it is. Under 2 minutes to go, running time here. Mercy rule in effect with a 12-goal lead in the second half. And with it, David Langevin comes in, gets cross-checked, goes down. Now at the top of the key, Propane to Vander Linde, back to David Langevin. They've all scored goals tonight. Quickly around, Jack Anderson, he has a goal. Now behind the net to Langevin. Great ball rotation, and the shot right at Jacobson. He's able to save it in his basket. And a good save by Evan for the Royals. And now losing his stick as the Red Knights just steal it like a bully right away from Winkler. Really like coming up to a playground and stealing the ball was the Red Knights, and now the pass in front and another goal, this time by Propane, and they're going to count it, I believe, by that signal. And they do. 16-1. Right here is the goal. That's David Langevin behind the net, and he found Propane, who just didn't wind up on that one, and I believe that was Dylan Propane, if I didn't get his number right. We'll listen to the PA announcer describe it to confirm. But we're at the center circle, and the clock is running down on the third quarter. 31 seconds and counting. So maybe a chance for either team to get a goal, or at least an opportunity for a goal. 24 seconds, and a whistle right away is going to give the ball back to the Red Knights.
His fourth of the game, number 1, Dylan.
It is Dylan Propane, and that's his fourth of the game of the 16 goals, and the Red Knights are looking for more. Propane comes off, pass right down on the doorstep to David Langevin. David Langevin takes a big shoulder, but breaks right through it, takes another shot. His shot is deflected and then saved by Jacobson, but it gets hacked away from behind just as the signal sounds, ending quarter number 3. So after 3 complete in this quarterfinal matchup, our score is 16-1 Red Knights. You're watching ParkTV 16 Sports. We're streaming live on YouTube. Come on back for the fourth quarter.
New message.
Your social security number has been suspended. If you do not contact us, your account will be deactivated.
Scammers are aggressive when they contact a potential victim. Social Security Administration employees will never threaten you for information or promise benefits in exchange for information. In those cases, the call is fraudulent and you should just hang up. Don't provide any personal or financial information to these thieves. Call the Social Security Fraud Hotline at 1-800-269-0271.
Back to ParkTV 16 Sports on location, bringing you boys Section 5A quarterfinal lacrosse. And there's your score. Read 'em and weep if you're a Royals fan. You're down 16-1 with 12 minutes on the board. We're in the mercy rule, so it's going to be running time. And that is going to be it for the Royals and their season. They came into this match 2-11. They're going to exit this match 2-12 for the year. And they played well. The Red Knights, obviously, you know, their reputation precedes how good they've been at lacrosse over the last decade, especially the last 5 or 6 years. Perennial state tournament participants and former state champions in the last 5 years. And there was a timeout on the field, which it's just a teaching moment there. I'm not sure which team took that timeout, but with a cold, sort of rainy evening, I'm sure the fans, the parents here would like to get going, but it'll give us a chance to talk about the brackets here. As I was alluding to that before, there is Benilde-St. Margaret's at the bottom of the bracket with the number 2 seed. Wayzata playing tonight, the number 1 seed. And the Red Knights will move on to the semifinal on Monday night, either at 5 or 7 o'clock, probably. There may be a doubleheader, as there is tonight. The girls are coming up on our broadcast right after this one, or shortly thereafter, around the 7 o'clock hour. They'll be taking on the Blake School in their own Section 5A quarterfinal. That one could be more competitive. Blake 6-7, the girls that is, and Red Knights 8-5. But right now, 12 minutes on the board, and with the ball are the Royals following a timeout. And they have it, and that is number 2 for the Royals. Milo Dean, now 27, Chisholm, who's played very well. Talented kid, that Chisholm. And now with it also, Evan Hagen, who has the lone goal, also another talented player for the Royals. But this Red Knight machine, and there is Hagen again as he gets goal number 2. And look at the excitement by Evan Hagen. He's got to feel good about that, the senior, huh? Obviously, he's ecstatic, isn't he? As he gets his second one, and you can bet now, the game within the game, if you're a Royals player and one of his teammates is try to get him a hat trick. And there's a huge cheering section for him in the lower part of the stands, just below our press box. And the Royals, they haven't had a lot to cheer about today. Yep, they're all holding Evan signs, and definitely a fan favorite for the visiting Royals fans. 16-2, mercy rule still in effect. Clock winding down. We had 12 minutes to start the quarter, and now we're at 10.5. And there's Chisholm winning another face-off. He comes right in. It appears from my vantage point, he is a real strong kid with big shoulders, and he uses that strength to win those face-offs, and then he's got great technique, and he wins another one. He must have won a dozen of them here today, it appears, as he rushes off, having done his job well. But the Red Knights have it again with a 14-goal lead. Mercy rule started at 12, so there's some cushion there as well. And now Imes rushes it up, tried to get it over the defender, and did just barely, but it's loose as they grapple for it. Now back into the offensive end, and now Vanderlinde hits it. He lowers his shoulder, much like a running back along the sideline, takes another hit from a D-back, it feels like, and he comes by the defense, coming right in the defense by the goaltender, Jacobson. What a great individual effort here. Much like a running back, cuts back left, takes a shot, went for that upper left-hand corner, and the great save by Evan Jacobson by the Royals. And play continues on, as so does the clock, as it's at 9.5 minutes remaining. Vanderlinde, top of the key. You got to think he's going to try to score again here after being on the doorstep. That was such a huge effort, and then to not come up with the goal had to be a little bit frustrating. Personally, despite his team substantially in front by 14. Now, Popane had it momentarily. David Langevin to the near side, number 15, Tanius. Top of the key, number 3, Vanderlinde. Now cutting right, Vanderlinde. And from a tough angle was Gagnon, and it appeared to either be deflected or it just went wide right. Ball out of bounds. Clock continues to wind down. 8.5 minutes remaining. David Langevin now at the point guard behind the net position. I need to come up with a better phrase for that one. Point guard, we can just say. I don't want to confuse people, though. Usually a point guard is there at that position, but I think they equate on both sides. And now the point guard from behind the net is Popane. Puts a move on, tries to drive the lane from behind, and his outlet pass, and Popane was not happy with himself with that. As he looked up to the sky, realizing he put that low and turned it over to the Royals with under 8 minutes to go. And let's see, okay. They're going to start it right there. And with it is Evan Hagen. He's going for a hat trick. You've got to believe his teammate wants to get him that hat trick. He is a senior. This is going to be his last go-around as a boys senior lacrosse player. So we'll keep an eye on that probability. And now the Red Knights, though, however, steal it. And they are back in the offensive zone with 7:25 remaining. Gagnon, far side. Goodwater. And Vanderlinde comes off to run the show. Holton Vanderlinde, he's clearly the main quarterback on this team. And now Popane comes off the sideline. Clock continues to wind down. 7:04, 7:03 remaining. And now coming in and receiving a round of applause with it is number 18. He'll rush the net. That's Max Riley. And he'll spin and think the better of it. Now Vanderlinde tries to penetrate from the top of the key. Goes left on the lane. The shot gets deflected by Jacobson to the near side rebound. And out of bounds. Red Knights will retain possession. There to retrieve it is number 16, Gagnon. Gagnon comes to the near side. Top of the key, near side. Popane. Now with it. 18. Riley. He dances around looking for an angle here. Riley puts the move on. Comes in, gets pushed out of the lane. Had to give it up to Gagnon. Now Gagnon will bring it to the near side and back to the top of the key. And now Vanderlinde will take his shot. As we see Canadian geese landing in the far field over there. It's quite the nature preserve surrounding this field, what making this campus so beautiful, especially this close to downtown Minneapolis. And now the ball is deflected and a turnover. But coming up with it to save the day is number 24, Judah Johnson-Nixon. And a whistle will turn it back over to the Park Royals. And the clock now winding down even further. 5:38, 5:37 remaining in this match. And for the seniors of the Hopkins Park Royals, their final goal round, that includes the Miles Chisholm, who I've spoken highly of this afternoon. This will be his last match, along with Jack Eslin. Cooper Reese, the senior, we've called his name. Also, Isaac Winkler, who's played well on defense. And, of course, Evan Hagen, who has both goals. Now that is the aforementioned Chisholm. He's going to try to get on the board. Now Cooper Reese takes a shot, the senior, and that gets deflected and into the near corner. Ball loose, scooped up nicely by number 22 for the Royals. That was, I believe, Joe Luger. And Luger is able to maintain possession despite taking some abuse in the corner. And that ball comes out. And a whistle, although the clock continues to wind down. I don't think that's a turnover as we look at number 1 there. That is Evan Hagen. And clock continues to wind down, but waiting for the whistle for actual play to continue. And yes, at the 20-yard line, that is number 16 with it, Cooper Reese. Now with it, Evan Hagen. Reese now behind the net to number 2, Milo Dean. Hagen passes on the shot. Now to number 33, Bennett Johnson. To the near side, Reese. He gets pushed back by Judah Johnson-Nixon. Now top of the key, Hagen. Bennett Johnson takes a shot. The big guy hurls it behind the net, out of bounds. Play continues on with the Royals remaining in possession. Now Hagen threatens to shoot. Now to the far side, inside to Bennett, and the pass to number 13, Brendan Fiore, the junior, gives the Royals their third goal of the match. That comes with 3:35 remaining, and here it all starts out with Evan Hagen, and the nifty pass, didn't waste any time, to Fiore, number 13, who gets the goal, and the assists will go to Bennett Johnson, the sophomore, and also Evan Hagen, the senior. So that, again, that goal comes with 3:35 remaining, and we'll go back to the center circle, and there is the senior Miles Chisholm, who's been stellar at the face-off to go against Owen Girton. And look at him go, fight for that muscle on muscle. Look at the leverage. It's like two wrestlers if you've watched much high school wrestling. And Chisholm comes away with it again in his senior last game. Ball loose in front. And it's picked up by the long stick, and the Red Knights have it. That is Will Kruzmark. But he turns it back over to the Royals. That's number 28 with it, Zollikofer. And a whistle, and appears another timeout by the Royals as they have possession, and Coach Evan Hylock, ever the coach, despite the inevitable outcome of this one. Our score 16-3 with just 2:36 remaining. So even though there's running time, they do stop it for timeouts, but that's about it, and probably maybe an injury. And Coach Hylock, the last time, as we look at both benches, there's the Red Knights. And you can kind of tell it's a very overcast, cloudy, gray day here in late May. Light winds out of the northeast, mostly east. Game time temperature around 63 degrees. So the Red Knights break early from their huddle. Not a lot to talk about for Coach Giuseppe Palermo. They'll be turning their focus to the winner of the other quarterfinal in their bracket. Rogers, the 3 seed, against Robbinsdale Armstrong. All right, now Royals done with their committee meeting, and Coach Hylock has put in the play. Last time he did this, it resulted in a goal immediately by Evan Hagen, who has 2 of the 3 goals, the first 2. He's looking for a hat trick. He's a senior. And they're going to start it here on the near sideline right there. That is number 27, Miles Chisholm, the senior. Face-off extraordinaire. He's going to be looking for a goal to end his career in high school as he comes right in. He's looking for it. And did he lose it? He did. Taken away by the ever-present Judah Johnson-Nixon. And now the outlet pass to a wide-open Red Knight. That's number 20, Will Kruzmark. Now to the near side to number 13, who had checked in, Raphael Johnson-Nixon. And the Red Knights are in business on offense again with just 2 minutes remaining in the match. And now, again, that is Raphael Johnson-Nixon, and he'll give it up. Coming off the bench, I believe that's 34, Cameron Kirshner. And Kirshner will bring it back. Oh, yes, that is Kirshner, just confirming his number. And he will assume that point guard position behind the net. He'll try to use that as a screen, coming right in, and he uses it well. Cameron Kirshner, I called it right there. From behind the net, using the net as a screen. He beats the defender, puts the move on Reese right there. Quick lateral move, gave him the step. And then he had the ability to wind and coil around that right goalpost and deposit the ball in the net on the far side, giving the Red Knights now a 14-goal lead. That matches their largest. Earlier it was 16-2. And back to the center circle, and this is going to be it. 1 minute remaining in the season for the Royals. Red Knights 1 minute before they advance, and there's a shot taken quickly. Going out of bounds, that was by Tyler Kirshner. And that will give the ball back to the Royals with 41 seconds remaining. And Winkler with it behind the net. He'll rush it out, being guarded by Gagnon. Gagnon takes a little poke check. Now a big check by number 19. That's Goodwater, and he strips the ball of Winkler. And now the Red Knights have it with 24.6 seconds remaining, and I can't believe they're calling a timeout.
Call by the Red Knights.
By the Red Knights with 24.6 seconds remaining and a 14-goal lead. I'm not sure the logic there unless he wants to do some substitutions, and that may be exactly the reason why, just to give some players some varsity experience, but he's over there talking about it, and it could be just to set up another scoring play. So we have a stoppage with 24.6 seconds. It's just an unusual thing in boys lacrosse. You don't ordinarily see that in other sports with such a substantial lead. Some might argue you're rubbing it in. I don't think so, but they are teachers at heart, and it's always a teaching moment whether you're in the classroom or on the field. So I can only assume that is the core value behind a timeout this late. Otherwise, on a cold night, if you're the losing team, I'm sure they'd like to get out of this and get on the bus and back home and on with new things and start thinking about next year. Okay, now timeout over with. Red Knights have it. Top of the key, number 12, Brady Paulson. Or no, on the near side, I think it's going to start. It's number 16, Leo Gagnon. A lot of time there just to play the last 23 seconds, but we are underway. 19 seconds remaining. Far side. They lose it with it. Number 26, who has checked in, that's Raymond Urhat, the freshman. So that's exactly what the timeout was for, is to get the new players situated with 6 seconds remaining now behind the net. That's Gagnon. 2 seconds remaining. He'll spin back around, and there is the whistle signaling the end of the match. And our final score, 17 Red Knights, 3 Royals. So for Paul Broden, our producer, and everyone connected with ParkTV 16 Sports, my name is Robert Christensen. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again. Stay tuned for the girls' quarterfinal match against Blake.